Welcome home to Horizon Hall. Horizon is located in North Campus in the Village, our newest residential community. This residence hall offers mostly double rooms with both traditional style and suite style options. A limited number of single rooms are also available. Residents living in a traditional style room will share a room with their roommate and a bathroom with their floor mates. Many community bathrooms are available on each floor for residents living in traditional style rooms. Bathrooms are cleaned daily and offer spa-style sliding doors for privacy. Residents living in a suite-style room will share a room and a private bathroom with their roommate. Suite-style bathrooms are cleaned weekly with a sink that is located outside the bathroom for added convenience. Every room already comes furnished with a bed, desk, chair, and dresser. A large window in each room lets you enjoy plenty of natural light. There are kitchen areas on each floor with a microwave and sink for convenient cooking and cleanup. Each building in the Village has a unique ground floor lobby with common areas and a full kitchen that includes a stainless steel fridge, oven, stovetop, and sink. Need groceries? Head to the on-campus Publix, only a short walk away. When you don't feel like cooking, the hub is right outside your door. At this dining hall, there are a wide variety of options that change daily, from a burger and fries to vegetarian stir-fry. You can also visit the nearby housing service desk at Holly M, where you can go if you have any issues with your keys. You'll also find a printer here that all students can access. Grab a coffee between classes from the Starbucks right next door. You can order ahead to skip the line or visit the walk-up window for speedy service. You'll find a wellness and recreation center at the Fit, where you can also lounge and enjoy our beautiful Florida weather with a zero-entry resort-style pool. When it's time to do your laundry, you can visit the laundry room on the first floor. Use quarters or swipe your USF ID to pay with full bucks. It's up to you. To learn more about our housing options, visit usf.edu/housing. Get ready to live the Bulls life.
Coming to you from the beautiful University of South Florida campus in Tampa, it's USF Housing Live!
Welcome everyone, this is USF Housing Live. I'm your host, Julia O'Hara with Housing and Residential Education at the beautiful University of South Florida in Tampa. Housing and Residential Education is here to answer your questions as you prepare for college. If you're joining us live, type your questions in the comments and we will answer you in real time. In tonight's episode, we'll be talking all about the resources provided to residents living on campus at USF. But before we get started, we have a few announcements to share with you. Fall 2021 move-in information is now live on our website. Visit usf.edu/housing to review all of the opening information and sign up for your move-in time slot. On-campus spaces are filling quickly, so be sure to finish your housing application steps as soon as possible to secure your space on campus. You can review all of the steps that must be completed on our website. And once the 4 application steps are complete, you will also need to update your room preferences in the housing portal so that a team member will be able to assist you. So if you have any other questions about that, you can contact us at housing@usf.edu or 813-974-0001. And please keep in mind that availability is limited at this point. Enlisting a variety of preference options will increase your likelihood of finding a spot on campus. Now let's welcome our first guest this evening, Assistant Director for Central Area with USF Residential Education, Paige Hicks. Welcome, Paige. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. I'm excited to be here tonight.
We're so excited to have you. Thanks for taking the time to chat.
Yes.
All right, you ready to jump into some questions?
I am.
Perfect. So let's get started by you telling us what you do here on campus.
Yeah, so my name is Paige Hicks, and I serve as one of the area assistant directors for Central, and I support about 5 residence life coordinators who lead our residential communities, and I help advocate and advance student success initiatives for the department.
Wonderful. And can you tell us a little bit about what is residential education?
Yeah, that's a great question. So ResEd is really here to support students and make sure that they are successful both inside and outside of the classroom. And so we support students by connecting them with campus partners, faculty members, and resources to ensure that they're meeting their personal and professional goals.
Awesome. And what kind of resources does residential education offer to students?
Yeah, we definitely have a lot. And so thinking about outside of the resident assistant or the community manager or even the residence life coordinator, we have two really cool areas in our department. And the first one is our academic initiatives team. And so our academic initiatives team builds a lot of partnerships with faculty members and academic partners, and they invite them into our spaces to have them really interact with our residents and offer opportunities. And so through some of the events that our academic initiatives team has provided for our residents, some of our students have been able to attend experiential learning trips, and some folks have even been invited to participate in research with faculty members. Another area we have in our department is our student leadership societies. And so we have about 4 in the department, and we really encourage students to join and engage with us because it's a great way to build a strong sense of belonging when they get here on campus.
And how can a student take advantage of these resources that are offered?
Yeah, so definitely getting connected with your resident assistant or community manager, or connecting with your residence life coordinator in the building. They can definitely point you in the right direction. But we post a lot of our opportunities on our Bulls in the Cloud page, which is a virtual hub of resources. Folks can find this in their Canvas website, and they can also look online as well.
Great, thank you. And can you tell us a little bit about the role of the resident assistant?
Yeah, that's a great question. So every student, when they move on campus, will be assigned a resident assistant. And essentially, a resident assistant is a peer mentor. And so they're really there to help support and guide folks on campus. And so they are really dedicated to the Bulls experience on campus, and they want to help folks and share resources with them. And so our RAs are really excited to welcome in new faces and returning faces on campus as well.
Great. And if someone's interested in being a resident assistant, can you talk a little bit about that process and what the requirements are?
Yes. So our recruitment process usually starts in early October. And so if folks check out the Bulls in the Cloud website, also our housing website, we usually post flyers and posters at each residence in-house. Folks will be able to learn more on how they can apply and really join our wonderful RA and CM team.
Great. And so there are the resident assistants that are on each floor of the buildings, and then your residence life coordinator. What's the difference between that? What's that position, the RLC, as we call it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our RLCs are full-time professionals who hold their master's degrees. And so they went to school to really learn more about the student experience. So from the time folks even think about going to school to even after they're leaving, these folks have gone through degree programs to learn what that is. And so they are there to really supervise the resident assistants or community managers. They also support hall council initiatives, but they're also there to really serve as another connector for the students that live in their building. So students can not only connect with their RRCM or they can visit their RLC and say, hey, how do I get involved, or how do I get connected? And one of the things I love about our RLCs is that they live inside the building with us as well. And so your RA lives on the floor, and then your RLC lives somewhere in the building. And that's just another parameter to ensure that we are supporting our students.
Supporting safe, it's a great idea and great system of support to have your RA and then also your RLC in the building with you. That professional staff member is super important. And so on top of the support of the RA and then the residence life coordinator, can you talk about the Residence Hall Association on campus and what that is?
Yeah, so that's one of our leadership societies. It's like the overarching overarching society for our hall councils. And so each hall or house has a hall council. And so on hall council, students are able to really advocate and be the voice for their community. They put on events, they'll put on some initiatives. I've seen some really cool things where they did like a friend speed dating event where folks are able to like meet folks in the residence halls and make more friends. And so that is a great leadership opportunity to really advance your skill set and start your leadership journey with us.
Absolutely. And Another system of support on top of all of this is the faculty in residence. So
Yes.
what is that?
Yeah, I adore our faculty and residents. And so we have about 5 faculty members that live on campus with us. And so they are there to really support and encourage residents to really learn and live outside of the classroom, inside of our halls. And so they do educational and social events. And so one of our faculty members did like a book reading club, and then another one did like a pancake and crepe night. And so faculty members serve as role models, leaders, and teachers outside of the classroom, and we really enjoy having our faculty and residents live on campus with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Paige. And if someone has more questions about the on-campus experience related to residential education or wants to get in contact specifically with their RLC, how would you suggest they go about finding that information?
Yep, all of our information is on the housing website. So if they ever want to get connected, that's a way. Or they can maybe go downstairs to the first floor and they may be able to find their RLC or connect with their RA, and the RA can point them in the right direction.
For sure. And I know that if you walk into any building on campus, there will be signs posted of who your RA is, who your residence life coordinator is. So it's super easy and convenient to be able to connect with those folks in your hall. And then the last question I have for you, Paige, before we take a break is, we have move-in coming in around the corner here. What's your advice for students that are coming in and moving into the halls, and what can they look forward to from the residential education team during the move-in process?
Ooh, advice. I think wearing tennis shoes and closed-toed shoes that day is important, but
Absolutely.
also saying hi. There are a lot of events going on, not only in the halls, but around campus. And so this is a great way to get involved, understand who's living in your community, and meet new people. And so feel free to connect with your RA or your CM to learn about more of what's going on, and go to some of those events and try something new.
Absolutely. We are so excited to get back to events and having that community events on campus. So Paige, thank you so much for taking the time to chat, and have a great night.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks, Paige. So it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more USF Housing Live right after this.
Welcome home to Pinnacle Hall. Pinnacle Hall is located in North Campus, in the Village, our newest residential community. Pinnacle Hall offers both traditional and suite-style living arrangements. Both styles include double occupancy bedrooms. Many community bathrooms are available on each floor for residents living in traditional style rooms. These bathrooms are cleaned daily and offer spa-style sliding doors for privacy. Residents living in a suite-style room will enjoy a bathroom shared with their roommate inside their living space. Suite-style bathrooms are cleaned weekly, with a sink that is located outside the bathroom for added convenience. Every room already comes furnished with a full set of furniture that includes a bed, desk, chair, and dresser per resident. A large window in each room lets you enjoy plenty of natural sunlight. There are kitchen areas on each floor with a microwave and sink for convenient cooking and cleanup. Each building in the Village has a unique ground floor lobby with common areas and a full kitchen, which includes a stainless steel fridge, oven, stovetop, and sink. In Pinnacle Hall, you could find green color accents. Need groceries? Head to the on-campus Publix, only a short walk away. When you don't feel like cooking, the hub is right outside your door. At this dining hall, there are a wide variety of options that change daily, from a burger and fries to vegetarian stir-fry. You can also visit the nearby housing service desk at Holly M, where you can go if you have any issues with your keys. You'll also find a printer here that all students can access. Grab a coffee between classes from the Starbucks right downstairs. You can order ahead to skip the line, or visit the walk-up window for speedy service. You'll find a wellness and recreation center at The Fit, where you can also lounge and enjoy our beautiful Florida weather in a zero-entry resort-style pool. When it's time to do your laundry, you can visit the laundry room on the first floor, use quarters, or swipe with your USF ID to pay with Bullbucks. It's up to you. To learn more about our housing options, Visit usf.edu/housing and get ready to live the Bulls life.
Welcome back. I'm Julia O'Hara, and if you're just now joining us, this is USF Housing Live, and we're here to help prepare you to live the Bulls life at USF. So ask us your questions in the comments, and we will answer you live on the show. Our second guest this evening is the Assistant Director for USF Housing Services, Megan Hooper. Hi, Megan. How are you?
Good, Julia. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us this evening.
Absolutely.
All right, so we are going to ask you some questions all about the resources provided by Housing Services at USF.
Okay.
So the first thing I'd like to ask you is, can you tell us a little bit about what you do at USF Housing and Residential Education?
Absolutely. I'm an assistant director for housing services. So I oversee grand opening, I oversee camps and conferences, also our mail centers, and most importantly, our desk services.
Great. And we'll talk about desk services a little bit, but the first thing that I wanted to ask you about is mail. Where do residents pick up their mail?
Yeah, we have two mail centers located on campus, one in the Juniper Poplar lobby area, and then also Holly H Mail Center.
So anyone living in Juniper Poplar Hall or Magnolia Apartments will go to the JPH lobby to pick up their mail, and then everyone else goes to Holly H, correct?
That is
Great.
correct.
And how do residents go about finding their mailing address?
Yeah, so how they go about finding their mailing address is they're going to go to our website and go to the residential experience page and then go to resident services and they'll be able to find it there.
And when can you begin receiving mail to your on-campus address?
You can begin to receive mail as early as August 15th. That is our preferred date.
Great. And so anyone that's interested in sending themselves mail for the fall semester should wait until that is the delivery date, August 15th. And if a student wants to send a larger package, like a mini fridge for themselves, what's the process and what should they keep in mind with that?
Yeah, so we accept mini fridges. We accept some larger items like TVs and those sorts of things. If there's anything really larger than that, they should definitely contact us and reach out and see if we can accommodate them. But mini fridges, definitely we get those. We just ask that you pick those up in a timely manner when you arrive on campus.
Great. And let's talk about service desks. So what are the hours and locations of service desks and what can they do for residents?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 3 service desks on campus. So we have one in the Juniper Poplar lobby area. We have one that's a satellite location, Holly M, that services all of the Holly side, Cypress, Maple, Beta Castor, Kosov, all of those halls. And then we have one that services the village, and so that's called the Hub. And so our hours are going to be from 8 a.m. until 11 p.m. beginning August 15th. And then the services that we provide, there's printing access at the service desks. If you get locked out, we can issue you a temp key. If you lose your key, we can issue you a new key and get you a recore done very quickly. If for some reason your swipe access isn't working, then we can correct that as well. Or if you lose your ID, we can issue you a temporary ID, temporary swipe access card as well. And then we just serve as a resource for residents in general. If you get lost on campus, if you need to know where something is, or you just have a general question, the service desks are a great place to just pop in and ask those questions. And we just serve as a resource for the residents.
And what are the fall hours for the service desks?
Pardon, what'd you say?
The fall hours for the service desk.
Yeah, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Great. And if a student needs help outside of that, those hours, what should they do?
Yeah, they should contact their RA on duty. There are signs listed at each desk with the RA on duty's numbers so that they're easy to get to.
So there's always someone to help.
Yes, there's always someone to help 24/7.
Great. And let's see what I have next for you here. So fall move-in, just a couple weeks away.
I can't believe it.
We're so excited. We've been working so hard to plan. Megan Hooper and her team really have a huge part in the grand opening process. So she does an amazing job with the planning and the implementation of that. A lot of hard work goes into grand opening, and so we're so thankful to you, Megan, and your team for that. So
Thank you.
in preparation, we have a whole episode next week. So if you're watching tonight, definitely join us next Wednesday. We are going to be talking all about the move-in process and going over the details of it. But for tonight, I wanted to talk about it a little bit with you, Megan, about what residents need to bring in order to check in and receive their keys, because that's a huge part of what you do is prepare those keys for pickup. So what do they need to bring with them?
Yeah, preferably they will already have had their USF ID. If they're able to get that ahead of time, that's really handy because their swipe access will already be on that card. If for some reason they're unable to get the ID card, we will issue them a temporary swipe access card, but otherwise they just need to bring an ID of some sort. So photo ID, so passport, driver's license, permit, anything like that, that shows us who you are.
Great. And we have a question from a viewer, Darren. Darren, thanks so much for watching. Darren wants to know if each building in the village has printers, or is it just going to be at the service desk?
It's just going to be at the service desk.
So the nice thing about being in the village, Darren, is that you are close to the hub, which is your service desk. And so all of the buildings kind of surround that area, and they have a printer at that service desk.
And you can always go to the Holly M service desk as well. You don't have to just go to the hub. So if for some reason there's a line formed or something like that, definitely check out Holly M and you might be able to snag the printer there too.
That's a great point, Megan. So if you are a resident on campus and happen to be on the south side of campus at JPH visiting a friend, you have resources to all service desks, not necessarily the ones that you're assigned to in your hall and where the location is. So that's a great point. So let's talk about key pickup. So we've been talking a lot about this. All of the information is on our website. So there's going to be a lot of detailed information about that. But we have sort of two different things that we're going to do in terms of key pickup is if you're early arrival or late arrival, key pickup, and then grand opening key pickup. So can you talk about the difference of those two and where the pickup locations will be?
Yeah, so if you're an early arrival, say arriving on August 15th or before that, then you're going to go to your service desk and pick up your keys there. If you're going to arrive after grand opening, you'll once again go to your service desk and pick up your keys there. Grand opening, however, we will have 5 satellite locations for each area, and that is listed on the website. And those are going to be at Holly L, who will service the village, Holly J, which will service all of the Holly buildings, and then Cypress E will service all of the Cypress buildings. And then we also have Maple C, which will have Beta, Castor, Kosov, and the Maples. And then our last one will be JPH in the classroom, 1317. That'll service Juniper, Poplar, and Magnolia.
Great. And so just to clarify, anything before the 19th and 20th, which is what the grand opening dates are, that will be service desk. And then anything after the 19th and 20th, so the 21st or 22nd, that weekend arrival is also service desk. But the 19th and 20th is where we're spread out. So like I said, everything on the website. Thank you for going over it. But we'll be going into much more detail next week when we go through that. And so my last question for you, Megan, after we talked a little bit about the move-in process, is do you have any additional tips or advice for residents moving in, whether they're new to campus or maybe returning? Any advice you have?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're sharing a space with somebody, definitely talk to your roommate and see who's bringing what. Sometimes you don't need to bring duplicates of things, so definitely talk to them and communicate with them ahead of time. That's always nice, a good icebreaker for them. And just really check out the website and read it thoroughly as much as possible. All of the information is really great on there. And then if you have any questions about mail or checking in or anything like that, feel free to reach out to housing and we will respond to you as quickly as possible. And there will also be, I should have mentioned, there are cart checkouts available at the service desks as well. That is a service that we do provide, and we will have that for grand opening as well.
Perfect. Yeah. So just to reiterate that, Service desk will provide the carts before grand opening, and then grand opening, we're going to have multiple locations throughout campus that we'll have on our website. Danielle, who's watching with us tonight, thank you, Danielle, for watching, is asking for students living in the village, do we park in one lot to pick up keys, then park in another lot for unloading? Do you want to answer that, or I can give it a shot too, if you'd like?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, so not just for the village, but for all students, for the most part, we have unloading zones that you'll park in, and then that are close, that are indicated on our website where you'll park. Some lots, different options for you. You'll park close to where you're picking up your keys. You'll go pick up your keys, get your cart, and then go back and unload all your items. After you're done with that, we do ask that you move your vehicle out of an unloading zone and to a further lot so that it frees up more space for bulls that are moving in. And then after grand opening, the resident can then move their car back into an R lot, but we do ask that you move your vehicles as we go through the grand opening process, because we have multiple days and many students to move in. So if you're a family member and you're bringing your car, park in that unloading zone that's indicated on our website, check in, get your keys, unload your items, and then move your vehicle out of the unloading zone. You don't have to leave campus right away. You can stay on campus, but we do ask that you move your vehicle. And then we also have another question from Alma asking, when do students for spring sign up for the dorms? I don't have exact dates that I know of off the top of my head, but I do know that it happens later in the fall semester. We do have that will be updated on our website under calendar, hopefully in the next week or so. But I believe that happens in November, if I'm not mistaken. But for exact dates, if you do need to know sooner than later and don't want to wait for the calendar to be updated, you can email us at housing@usf.edu with that specific question, and we can get you a date or at least a better timeline from our assignments team. Okay, well, thank you everyone who's been watching and asking questions, and thank you, Megan, so much for joining me this evening.
Thank you, Julia, for having me.
Absolutely. Well, have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
So if you have more questions about living on campus at USF, please email us at housing@usf.edu or call us at 813-974-0001. Be sure to join us for our next episode on Wednesday, July 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we'll be speaking all about the grand opening process for fall 2021 at USF. You can watch on our Facebook or YouTube page, the USF Class of 2025 Facebook group, or the USF Parent and Family Engagement Facebook page. USF Housing Live is produced by Housing and Residential Education at the University of South Florida in Tampa. Our motto is best place to live, best place to work, and best place to learn. Thank you to tonight's guests for joining me this evening. Thank you to our production crew, to you, our viewers, and of course, there's always just one last thing. Go Bulls! Good night, everyone.